lesson. It's not going to be too long either. So, for 1-9, it said, where would the square root of 8 go on a number line? So, I have to think of some things. So, the first thing I would say is a perfect square, so square root of 9 is going to give us 3. And the square root of 4 is 2. And we're looking for the square root of 8. So I know it's going to be between the square root of 4 and the square root of 9, or between 2 and 3. But if you look at these, you know it's going to be closer to 3 than 2. Okay, so that's our first hint. Okay, and then we're going to try and plot these on the number line. So I have 2, and then let's see, this is going to be 2.25, this is going to be 2.5, this is 2.75, and then 3. Okay, so I'm going to try and plot this on my number line, and I know that this is going to be somewhere after the 2.75. Okay, but we are estimating. Okay, I know it's going to be close to 3 because it's close to the square root of 9. Okay, the next one I have here is, for the first example, it says estimate the square root of 83 to the nearest integer. So I have to think. I know 9 squared is equal to 81, and 10 squared is equal to 100. So I'm going to say, okay, is it going to be closer to 9, or is it going to be closer to 10? So I would say, okay, the square root of 83, if I was taking the square root of 81 and the square root of 100, I would get 9 or 10. So this is going to be closer to 9 than 10. So 9 would be your best estimate. Okay. Number 2, I have to find the cubed root of 320 to the nearest integer. So, the cubed root, I'm going to say, of 216 is 6, and the cubed root of 343 is 7. So if you weren't sure, what you have to do is go through 2 cubed is 8. 3 cubed is 27. 4 cubed is 64. 5 cubed is 125. Okay. So you'd have to go through the numbers to see which is closest to 320. So since I'm looking at 320, I see that the cubed root of 216 is 6, and the cubed root of 343 is 7. So this is your answer for this is going to be closer to 7 than 6. So 7 would be your answer. Okay, number 3, it says Wyatt wants to fence in a square portion of the yard to make a play area for his new puppy. The area covered is 2 square meters. How much fencing should Wyatt buy? So if you have a square fencing portion that they want to fence off, it says the area is 2 meters squared. And we know when we're finding the length and width of the square, it's length times width is equal to the area of your square, or you could do your length squared is equal to your area. So I'm going to say my 2 meters squared is going to go in for A. So I would say I have to find the square root of 2 to get what times what is equal to that. So I'm looking for one side. So one side, if I were to take the square root of 2, is going to be about 1.41, I believe. Let me just check that. So square root 1.41. the square root of 2. Yep, so it's going to be about 1.41. Okay, but the question is asking us how much fencing. And if there's 4 sides, that means each side is 1.41. Okay, so I would have to do 4 times 1.41, and that would give me about 5.64. So how much fencing should he buy? You would say he should buy about 6 meters. Okay, 1 through 4 you are to try on your own. At this time, stop the video, and then when you're done answering these 4 questions, replay it, and I will have the answers there. Alrighty, welcome back. So, we're going to go ahead and flip it over to the back. And we're actually going to skip this one because I don't think it's necessary for this particular question. Okay, so we're going to finish our last notes section. So 1-10. Okay, so this is talking about irrational numbers and real numbers. So an irrational number is a number that cannot be expressed as the ratio A divided by B, where A and B are integers and B cannot equal 0. So what that means is that you can't have 0 in the denominator. And then for our real numbers include rationals, so rational numbers, integers, whole, natural, and irrational. All of the above. Alright, so the next set of examples, it says name all sets of real numbers to which each real number belongs. So if I have 0.2525 and it keeps going on and on and on forever, we know that this is going to be equivalent to 25 over 99 due to the nth rule. Okay, so because it's repeating the same thing over and over and over again, this would be a rational number. Okay. Now I have the square root of 36. We know is 6. So this would be natural, whole, an integer, and rational. So if you need to use the chart that we've worked on, you're more than welcome to do that. Okay, so now I have a negative square root of 7. So this one you may have to use your calculator for, because the answer is about a negative 2.64575. And it's going to keep going on and on and on. Okay, so the biggest thing to note here, it does not terminate or repeat. So, irrational is your answer. Irrational. Alright, at this time, pause your video and try numbers 1, 2, and 3 on your own. And then when you get back, you can play your video to get the answers for 1, 2, and 3. So for comparing and ordering real numbers, you want to write in decimal notation before comparing. Okay, so we already did the square root of 7 up top, which we knew was about 2.645 and 2 2/3 we know was 2.6 repeating, so we know that that is bigger. So I'm going to list out 2.6 here, and then 2.7. Okay, and 2.645 is going to be about here. So that's the square root of 7. And then 2 2/3. It's going to be a little bit after that. See if I can get that cut. It's going to be about here. And that's going to be 2 2/3. Alright, number 5, we have 15.7%. Remember to change this into a decimal, move it twice to the left. So I have 0.157. Then I have the square root of 0.02, and that would be 0.141. About. So I would see that 15.7% is greater. So I would have, let's say, 0.14, 0.15, and 0.16. So my square root of 0.02 would be down here. And my 15.7% would be somewhere up here. And there we go. All right, on the back side, order the set of numbers in order from least to greatest. So if I were to do the square root of 30 to start, I know it's going to be, so you're going to have to actually solve this. I'm going to give this to you. It's about 5.48. Then I have the number 6. So I have 6.00 because I want 2 decimal places, just like my first one. Then I have 5 4/5, which is going to be 5.80. And then 5.36 with the 6 repeating. Oops. I would have 5.366. Okay. If I wanted to round this, you would have 5.37. So now I just have to order those from least to greatest and use the original numbers. And the smallest number I would see would be 5.36 with the repeating sign over the 6. Then I would have my square root of 30. And I'd have 5 4/5. And then I'd have 6. And that would be my final answer. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video, and I will put the correct answers in for 4, 5, 6, and 7. Alrighty, so as you can see, here we go. Thank you for watching today. Now please go ahead and work on your homework for this evening. Thanks.